asked. I said, I wish I could have that dry maggot. Well, I mean, how do you know what that is? No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that dry maggot. Well, I mean, how do you know?
Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday night. I'm hoping that everybody is doing well this evening. I am so excited to see everybody here in the chat. Let me make sure if I do have any of my members here that I do give them specific shout outs. So I am going to actually, hey, Angel of Glass, here's my moderator. Hi, it's so good to see you. Come on in. Nice to see you. I hope we're going to have some fun tonight. Oh, Flat Pat already coming in with an amazing super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get this Tim party started. Well, we got a party tonight, guys. I am not going to lie. I am a fan of research. And when I get certain comments that get me to want to, sorry, I had to think of the right word. Sorry about that. Comments that make me want to do a little bit more research, a little investigation, then I might go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And so I did go down a bit of a rabbit hole thanks to some comments that were left. And we're going to get into that. We've got a couple of things we're going to go over this evening. So actually, you know, like any good ex-school teacher, and anybody, I have my notes here. So one of the things, obviously, is I just want to thank everybody who are members here and coming on in. And obviously, we have our good friend Angel Glass. She's going to be moderating, making sure that we all behave ourselves tonight. Yeah, just making sure, you know, we get trolls in here and that's all good and fun, you know. And Tim has his supporters out there, and we can appreciate that. And really, we just use Tim as a hey, Catherine, come on in, girl. We just use Tim kind of as a he is an example of a personality trait and type. And it just happens that Tim fell into my radar. And so he has been an interesting character, and he does seem to take the bait, and he does like to talk about his haters. And so he does provide a lot of us with entertainment over here. I think he's realizing without the best video he's had view-wise today. I'm going to get too hot in this sweatshirt. I'm going to have to get this thing off a little bit. I'm stripping, guys. Is that Tim is finding that if he talks about us, he gets better views than on any of his other content. So he's starting to understand that without us being here, he may not get the views, but it does not stop him from doing things like, obviously, doing things like striking my channel. And those of you who are members, I'm actually either going to, I'm thinking I have a lot to do this weekend because I have my final exam for my class, for my advanced psychopharmacology class. This is my last week, and I have my final exam on Tuesday. So I have a lot of studying to do. But for those who are members, maybe Wednesday evening, I will go live. It will be a members only live. Obviously, it will then I might do a members only video, because if I do a live on StreamYard, we'll see how it works out. No, we'll do a live. And obviously it'll be open just for members to see. I'm not going to ever open it up to the public. Reason being is the enabler of Sarasota Tim, his good friend JJ, one of the pieces of evidence I have of his interesting past is copyrighted by him. And knowing how litigious he is, and the fact that it was JJ who actually was the one to strike Zachary Michael's video about Tim's cholesterol, because Zach had played one of the actual videos on JJ's Crushing It channel on the platform. Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm this old and I'm talking about this. But anyway, he turned around and struck Zach. So JJ obviously is the narcissistic enabler. I was kind of like looking at the symbiosis too, but then I saw something about the enabler. It's similar, and I almost wonder if that fits him slightly better in this respect. And so we're going to look at his past a little bit, because he decided the other day to come in and leave comments on my channel in my community. And so I always feel that he is behind a lot of Tim's recent striking of channels, just from what I can tell from their past and the way that JJ has been behaving for like 20 some years on the internet. So I got to go back to like 1990 something with John and Bev, all the way back to their Pennsylvania days. So it got pretty fascinating, guys. I'm just going to say, okay? So we're going to get into that. Yeah, I feel bad for Zach too. Yeah, hopefully it will get resolved, because they have to take legal action outside of YouTube. Oh, thank you for becoming a new member. I really appreciate that. You'll get a chance then to see this live, and obviously that live's going to stay up. And it's going to be, because I can't show the website I want to show on this live tonight, because it's copyrighted by JJ. And he is one heck of a, so I'm already doing some things in the background that I'm not going to reveal unless you're on the members only. And so, and that's to be like just kept on the DL. So there'll be certain things that people only who are members of this channel are going to be able to enjoy. And there you go. You can join the community by following that link. Oh, JJ. Oh, JJ is Tim's narcissistic enabler, Colonel Buckshot. JJ is the one who struck Zachary Michael's channel. That's why, yeah. And he has a copyrighted website. It's fascinating. And so we're going to get into that in the second half of this live stream tonight, guys. So if you hit the likes now and, all that good stuff, it will send this video up the algorithm. More people will find this live stream and come and join us tonight. And just to announce that, so yeah, we're going to be doing some of that. So yeah, we've got all sorts of stuff going on here. See, unfortunately, Tim just assumes that the only thing that this community would be interested in is looking at Tim. But the thing is I find all sorts of things fascinating, especially when it comes to obviously personalities and character traits, because I'm studying to be a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and I don't have very long left to go. I'm very close. Next, basically in 10 weeks, I'm entering into my clinical phase. So I'm not, so my members of my community will get to learn a little bit more about my journey as I get ready to fully graduate in the field of psychiatry. And so I obviously enjoy anything to do with that. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. So yeah, that's always what we're always here to do. All right, guys. So next thing I wanted to touch base on. Yeah, we're crushing it. Do you have an OnlyFans? Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. For sweatshirts, because that's what I wear. Okay. So I did want to talk about the elephant in the room. For some who may not know, that Grifters Anonymous, hey, Flat Pat joined. Thank you, Flat Pat. Thank you for becoming a member of the community. We really appreciate that. Welcome to the club. We're going to have some fun. So I recently was given heads up that Grifters Anonymous videos had been taken down. And so I obviously, went to his page. He obviously, a lot of he was very clear that he was a character, and he did a lot of parodies and stuff. It really, Grifters Anonymous was a character. I am pretty much who I am when I come out here. I am me. I am Ray. This is my channel. I try to expose individuals who I believe use the internet to scam or mislead people, especially around topics of health, or manipulate. I have an interest in people and their personality traits, obviously, just because of the field of work that I do. And obviously, the more we become enmeshed with technology and using these as forms of communication, there's different ways that obviously people can use these new social media platforms to gain people's trust and therefore manipulate or get something from people. And so it's a murky world. And so I find it fascinating. But yes, hey, David, come on in. It said, hello, Zachary's reaction to the movie videos cracked me up. Was a little scared after first watching Zach for the first time on Tim's vid. Well, he is very funny. He is very funny, David. I think, just to be full transparency, I started watching Zachary Michael many years ago, and a little bit between their channel and having watched the anti-MLM, and they were getting into kind of like some murky stuff about cancer treatments, or not taking cancer treatments, I should say, that had me start making more videos. And then I got somehow a little bit into girl world because I was concerned about information around health and type 2 diabetes. And then I kind of discovered that Tim was being quite manipulative, which kind of fell more into the line of work that I do in training in psychiatry. So that's kind of just a long and short of it. Yeah, Scriptures Anonymous has either privated his videos or something of that nature, and has had, in what I could read from looking at his about section, that they do not appreciate, obviously, the level of hateful comments that they had been receiving in their comment section. I don't know what exactly transpired. I'm obviously a very busy person who goes to school. I don't believe in, I'm not trying to create drama per se with Tim. I just am trying to alert people that Tim is very problematic, and he does not really tell the truth, and his narrative is always changing to suit him. And he's really using the platform for his, not that none of us are benefiting from it. I obviously benefit from having a community, doing memberships, people send buy me a coffees. There's ways that obviously I do financially benefit. I do AdSense. That is not the point. Tim's is more a little bit darker in the respect that his target audience may be a little bit older, a little bit more vulnerable, and potentially not realizing that Tim is doing a lot better financially than he claims to be. Anyway, I guess that Grifter was getting a lot of comments, and something had transpired. And I do agree that anybody, for their mental health, even Tim, though I think Tim is, pardon me for slurping, I really need some tea there. That Tim, he, doesn't, he scrubs the bad comments away. So his narcissism still wants him to have the adulation from the audience. What he gets is enough, and he can just scrub away anything that he feels is negative. So I think that Tim is a very different type of character, but you do have to be somebody who is very aware of, obviously, topics that can trigger people, or be aware that you're really gonna have to have not take things that people say about you on the internet personally. You're gonna have to have a very thick skin. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I did want to address that, and I do hope that he does well. I only ever wish that, like I say, I think that any person who is on this platform, whether it's a creator in girl world who says that they need to take care of their mental health and take a break, I think that anybody should, I think even there's been times when I haven't put out as much content, and it may be that I'm just kind of like not in the mood to produce content, or it can be that I'm just busy with school. Maybe it's, there's a variety of reasons. producing a lot of content on YouTube, it can create a burnout too. So he was doing like almost daily videos. That's a lot, it's a lot more than you realize. So anyway, we will miss his humor. Okay. So we're going to look at Tim. We're going to look at his haters video tonight. I thought we would do him justice since he's got a message for us. And I haven't actually seen the video. So, yeah. Oh, please, Griffith didn't really say much. He has been very tame about it. I know. I just, I always say, just take care of yourself. We're all here. Just, yeah, he needs to regroup. Exactly. That's what I said. He may have just privatized his stuff. Sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes, like, I had a bit of a break when I was starting work again and didn't know where I really wanted. I wanted to take my channel another direction. And then Tim just started getting all sorts of problematic again. And then he decided to start striking my channel. And then it just, so I'm expecting for a strike to come again soon with him. But we'll work on that. We're taking care of that. So I'm not concerned. I'm always a little bit more methodical, I guess, and measured in response. Anyway, let's get over to Tim. And then we're going to do the membership giveaway. I have 5 memberships to this community I'm going to give away tonight. And so you'll be able to do that. Then we're going to look at JJ's stuff. And that's kind of what we got planned tonight. So let me share the screen with Tim. Oh, you're not new here. Oh, you're fine. All right. Okay, let me see. So Tim is supposedly exposing his haters. So this is obviously a message for all of us. Now, he's finally gotten like 6,000 views on this. His other videos have been getting nothing like they used to. It literally was a year ago that Tim could go to a car wash and find himself with 6,000 views, Oh, my friend Cheekbone. Oh, Cheekbones. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, miss you, my friend. I've been so busy taking care of my first grandbaby. Sending love. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. I was just thinking about how much fun we used to do doing the nutritional information. If you stop being busy with your grandchild, maybe one day we could talk about Tim's carnivore diet. Catherine says, hey, Cheekbones. Oh, well, you enjoy that grandbaby. That's so exciting. I'm obviously a pediatric nurse. And so I love working with the little ones. They bring me absolute joy. So I know you all enjoying that. So thank you. I'm so glad you're joining us tonight. Thank you. Oh, all right, guys. Let's get over to our good friend. Yeah, his channel's not growing, Matt. No, it's not. It's not. His channel is... He's never going to get to that 100K. I don't think my channel would ever grow like that either. Though did I announce? I don't think I did. I do want to thank everybody who is obviously here tonight, who is showing support to the channel, who are giving me likes and being here and supers and all of that, because I recently was accepted, woo, and have attended my first live session with the YouTube partner program. Woohoo! So YouTube, despite Tim having struck me multiple times and has caused me all sorts of havoc to my algorithm, because it just does. And so it's probably limited my channel growth. They actually accepted me into the YouTube partnership program. So yay! Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for all of the thank yous for that. Yay! Cheekbones just says, you just give me a shout. You are missed in the girl world arena. Well, I am feeling like I want to talk about Chantel's leaky eye. So it is possible. I actually am taking a leave of absence from college for 10 weeks. so I can begin to, I know this is an aside. This is going to be on the members, and I'll talk about that on the members only, about what I'm up to with my leave of absence. But yeah, I'll have a little bit more time. But I have a lot to do. So yeah, it's yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah. So YouTube supposedly sees potential in my channel, Tim. So thank you. But we talk about fun stuff like narcissism, and we're going to talk about narcissistic enablers tonight. All right, Tim, you're at 1.5. Exposing the haters for their lies. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Listen, you 111,614 beautiful souls. I need your help. I need your help, and I know you'll give it to me. First, I'll say thank you very much for subscribing to this channel for the last couple of years and growing it to the level that I'm at. This is a side hustle. It is monetized. I do earn money on YouTube, believe it or not, doing what I like to do. I hope it brings you some kind of enjoyment, entertainment, and some knowledge on certain things. I am asking, because I never ask often, but I'm asking today because it just kind of crossed my mind. Would you consider subscribing to this channel? This channel is one of the greatest YouTube channels you'll ever watch.
I got something to say about that, Tim. You know I do, sir. You know I have something to say about that. There's only one thing that needs to be said, sir.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Gosh, he just came out. He's already here. Tim has got to get, his narcissism is absolutely insanely killing him, that he has got to get to that. Oh, goodness, Tim. Okay.
Watching your life.
I got to get a new
So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But what I would really like to ask
me a new
is if you would give it a thumbs up. The thumbs up on YouTube videos really helps the creator in the algorithm to get YouTube to push the videos and recommend them to other people in the world. And I've hit that algorithm a few times in my short time being a YouTuber. And when that happens, it is like a real blessing. Not because it generates a lot of views and obviously generates a monetary gain, but it also brings in people into the community that I enjoy hearing from and getting a wealth of information from, and possibly even people that I can meet. And so I would like in 2025.
I understand. Well, he used to have more content where he was meeting people. Now we get to see JJ. His content definitely. Oh, he cleaned up the back seat. Sorry, I got scrolled there. Whoa, because I commented about his dirty back seat the other day. Looks like he cleaned up. Oh, is this the truck? Which car is this? Maybe it's a different vehicle. Is it? Anyway. Oh, Tim. He's trying to desperately get to that 100K. I mean, he is absolutely desperate. But his content, he has started to do things that I think are too controversial in the respect that there's certain topics that you just try to keep away from. And it's usually like politics and religion. And those are two of Tim's mainstay video contents. It's like crushing it for Christ. And then obviously his political leanings. And I think unless you are seriously a political commentary channel where you are going to be a political commentator because you live, breathe, and die for political science, I think Tim just tries to be an expert in too many things. And that's where you start to show that you're a jack of all trades. And even for Tim, I mean, that's almost too much of a compliment. And master of none. The only thing that Tim has been good at is the gift of the blarney, as they say in Ireland, and in being able to sell and go door to door. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as he starts to talk about his haters. But yeah, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Oh, David, thank you so much for the super chat. David says, everybody say hello to Timmy. He says he doesn't watch. I know he watches. The reason why I know he watches is because some of the things David probably knows he's that too, he mentions in the video show direct correlation that he's definitely watched some of my things, especially when it comes to health. His health is wealth. It's like, Tim, you're trying to go into the health arena. Now, obviously, I'm somebody who's worked in healthcare for an extended period of time. I don't have like a wellness channel. I tend to talk about more about what other people are doing, talking about topics. It could be about health, because obviously I work in mental health. So people and how their behaviors are is what I find the most fascinating to me. I've always found that fascinating. And I always find it interesting that people make comments that I'm, a 50-year-old student. As if that's supposed to be an insult to me. And I should have been done when I was 20. I was in school in my 20s too and graduated with a degree in education. And then I studied Spanish at advanced levels. And then I went and studied nursing. And now I've gone on to this part of my nursing career as a nurse practitioner. So it's like I'm constantly studying and I'm constantly evolving in my expertise. So that's why I find it laughable when I get these comments about the fact that I'm some sad individual because I'm in school at this age. Do you know how long it takes to understand human nature? It's not something that you just understand overnight. It takes a long time. All right, keep going, Tim.
5 to take this channel. And while I do a lot of redundancy in some of my videos, at certain times of the year, when I do travel, I live in an RV and I have a Super Duty Ford truck I bought that's new, and we haven't even begun to do the travels yet that are in store this year, next year, and as long as the good Lord keeps me on this earth, and I have the ability and the mental faculties and the strength to do such. That is my passion. That is what I like. But in order for me to be more motivated to video it, I'm already motivated to do it, but to create content that can help, I would like to ask the community at large for your ideas of what you would like to hear.
Well, see, no, Tim, no, I'm going to stop you right there. See, that's not right. Not that I don't get ideas from my community, because I can promise you there was a comment, and I'm going to highlight that individual this evening. I made some clips because obviously I get comments, I'll screenshot them and so forth. And so with Tim, if you really are gifted at what you do, Tim, you are not going to need to get your sorry, that's my ice maker behind me. I'm going to stop that in a second. Tim, you are not, that's where the creators fail, I think, is when you start to ask your audience, literally, what should I do to make you watch me? That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that you don't get feedback or ideas or, things like, hey, this would be better, or you talk too much there, or that part was boring, or speed it up there, or blah, those types of feedback from the audience is always excellent because it enables you to produce better content for your audience. It's always helpful for me. It's taken me, I've been live streaming maybe for just over a year now. And I know over time, I've been becoming a better and better live streamer. But I also know that what I want to do is I want to bring something that is my area of expertise to my audience. And if they enjoy topics around mental health and around how, mental health plays a role in social media, and not necessarily in all aspects, but how people talk about it, how people use it, how people abuse it to their interests. I mean, there's all sorts of, I have some interesting things that and this is girl world, but about Amber Lee and her BPD and CPTSD and so forth. I mean, it's interesting and how people use that to sometimes get away with bad behaviors, which is not the case. We do feel that people do have responsibilities to address their mental health and to seek appropriate therapies, management services, what's needed in order for them to have the best outcomes, because mental health does shorten people's lifespans and so forth, certain disorders. So yeah, anyway, Tim, that's some lazy stuff. In my 7-hour response to that, Tim, you don't ask your audience for content ideas. You just don't. Okay, keep going, Tim. like this
ideas on
subscribe, as Tim would
and
say.
constructive criticism is welcome. However, I want to make this clear too. Since I've been a little bit out of the loop with my eye surgery and everything, some of the comments that the channel has been getting for the last year due to copycats out there and people that just don't have a life, I have at least 4 moderators that monitor the comments that will absolutely, that have my permission. We have already met about it, and we know where the line is.
Are these new, his moderators? 4 moderators for his comments? Oh, Tim's getting a lot of comments. Wow. I guess it is going to be even more sanitized than before. The rule is, are they the ones leaving all these new comments? Because Tim seems... So is it the moderators that are leaving it under the Crushing It logo of Tim's channel with the I do you, you do me, or whatever these little comments are, these little sarky comments that get left? It's kind of... I feel like he's very rude to his audience. I did want to go back to the point that was brought up about the visible wireless. Because I use visible wireless. Hey, Blind Views, come on in. I would like to see more rest areas, truck stops, and casino parking lots. Well, he's trying to get back to Laughlin. I think he's already talking about trying to go out west again. So maybe we'll get that. Beautiful. Let me know if people can see me okay, because we have very bad weather in Virginia Beach. So let me know, because I can always make me small. Okay, smaller. Okay, I might do that. Let me see if making me smaller works out better. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, no, actually, I got back to being okay. Okay. All right, Tim. Keep going. People want to hear you.
And so a lot of the people that comment that aren't really part of the community, some of them try to play a little sneaky and they walk the line. And we all know, me and my moderators, even the community at large, you know who they are. And we don't really have to take such action to prevent people from commenting on this channel. We don't have to. We can let it sit there. But, it's kind of like if you've got traffic.
Oh, Tim, your trolls come and leave misogynistic nonsense all the time in my comment section. Constantly. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. People are like, oh, you have to tell us how educated you are. Well, yes, it's to contrast Tim for not being educated or an expert in anything. That's why your channel can't work, Tim, ever. It's because you have no expertise. You just try to...
trash in your yard. Why not pick it up, right? Why not clean up the mess? You don't want to look junky. Make a nice representation. Make a nice appearance. So just be warned that if you're going to take the time to comment, it's going to be very much appreciated. If you're going to take the time to say something negative or very disparaging against me or somebody else in this community, there are several people that are monitoring the comment section. And while your comment may ride there for a few minutes, it will shortly be gone. And then, yeah, you can go and create another username, of which you have many, these people that like to do that. And, I will say this, though, to those that do that, on the other side of the coin, you can go to those other channels and talk back and forth with one another all you want. And I'm sure you do. And just get off on it. But you're not going to come in this yard and throw your trash. And
see, this is where it's, this is the problem with Tim being a content creator on YouTube, is because, sadly, Tim's, in my mind, and I do not treat or diagnose, I've never done a physical assessment on Tim. So one of the things that you have to have done in order to truly diagnose an individual is, one, you have to do certain types of questionnaires that you use with patients, and depending on the initial complaint symptoms from the patients, you might use different questionnaires to kind of establish a baseline. Maybe it's for anxiety, maybe it's for depression. There's different ones that we use. There's a lot of different ones. It's kind of how we help get a diagnosis. But you have to also accompany it with a full physical assessment. A full physical assessment is going to include getting a medical history, a surgical history, a family history, what medication somebody's on, obviously doing a review of systems with the patients, doing a full head to toe with the patient. You have to do all of these things initially in order to do anything. So that's why I always say I don't treat or diagnose Tim. But what I can say, when he is sort of thinking that he is never going to have any negative expressions on his channel, that, you know, don't come through my trash. This is kind of showing these sort of traits of the entitlement that potentially can go along with somebody who has traits in narcissism. Okay, keep going, Tim.
But I do appreciate every single view. And even if you just read the transcript, it counts. Every single view that you give this channel that builds my Google AdSense is very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And your continued viewing. Even though we know, the community, myself, my moderators, that you say you're not going to watch, you say you don't like me, you say you don't like this channel, but you can't stay away. You have to watch. And, you know, what does that tell you? It tells you that you're lying to yourself. You do like this channel. You do want to hear what's being said, but because you don't truly dislike this channel and what's being said, me personally, if that was true,
I should try to do a poll and ask if people like Tim's channel. A lot of times people that watch my channel now, Tim, used to watch you, and people gave just like simple like suggestions because you show your life. Okay, so people would say things like, well, you know, that may not be the best decision if you say you're a minimalist, Tim, by buying, you know, 2 vehicles and an RV and going around the mall, looking at Cadillacs and Rolex watches and all these things that don't really hallmark a minimalist RVer, you know, and you will scrub those comments away. So you like shadow ban people sometimes off your channel. And so a lot of people have come to my videos, and probably a lot of other creators who kind of look at what you do on YouTube and so forth, and have said, hey, this is what I did. And they're like just basic comments. It's you've been really kind of malicious, but that's kind of part of what potentially can come along with having you know, a history of narcissism, Tim. I mean, really, how you treated your family, how you didn't care to give them health care, how it was all about you just making a few $100. That's a great stop there. A few $100 a week, Tim. It's all of those things. But keep going.
true, because I know from personal experience, when I view a YouTube channel, and I don't hate them, but when I say, I don't like that guy or that gal, I don't like their content, I don't like that, I simply don't watch it. I might scroll across something and click on it, and then, you know, I don't leave a comment saying, you know, by the way, before I never watch you again, I can't stand you. I mean, I just don't do that. And neither does anybody else that's normal. But for all of you out there that want to continue to try to attack and say things.
Well, no, see, Tim, you know, this is what I learned at YouTube Creator School. Because I wonder if Tim was offered YouTube Creator School. I'm sure he was. And Tim just saw the word school and probably ran the other direction, in my opinion. I see the word school, I'm like, sign me up. I love school. So I was actually writing a short little paper response for one of my classmates for my last discussion boards. I got one more response to do, and that's it for this class, just before I started this live stream. But anyway, you know, they're saying that YouTube is the new platform, you know, is taking away, you know, taking over TV. We, you know, are supposedly the new personalities, you know, on these platforms over here, Tim, you know. But you would have understood that if you went to your, like, you know, YouTube Creator School. And so having reaction channels and people, you know, commenting on one's behaviors is no different than how things are done, you know, on TV when people do like the other types of shows. This is human nature. We are, as a community, use social media. So as a community, in a different sort of sense, in a global sense, people that often work with those who, you know, watch human nature like I do, have probably a duty to let others in the community know what they should be looking out for. That's what I think.
That don't mean anything to me or anybody else. And you can say, oh, it does, because you're talking about it. No, it's just that when I see trash in my yard,
that's funny.
I pick it up. I clean up my yard. I don't let it just get ghetto and trashy like you may do and never pick up, never make your bed, never make anything of yourself, never shave, never do anything. Won't get off drugs, won't get off alcohol, won't get off arguing with people, won't get off being a road rager. You're bad. You're one of these people we don't need. Go.
Tim, you are literally driving down a road with having just had eye surgery. Let me remind you. Raging at a camera, which doesn't seem to be very safe in my opinion. So, I mean, what level of your self-interest and self-entitlement do you have at this moment in time? So it is wild.
Go away. And if you don't like it, go away. You want to try and do other things and bother and be a nuisance? You're wasting your own time. All we have to do is a click, dismiss, delete. You're a delete away. So why don't you just join, like they're trying to convince the Democrats right now, instead of screaming and yelling in the microphone on TV like they're doing, and because their money train ran out, because they're not what Donald Trump is, and they can't be him, and they don't like good. Why don't you just join? Why don't you repent? Why don't you turn from your...
Tim, one, the politics is not doing your channel any favor. And two, I'm still trying to figure out how you... I'm just going to let you know. So you shall never be getting an invitation to Mar-a-Lago. I just don't think you're the type of person that Donald Trump hangs out with.
Your ugly way and be more of a decent person, a citizen. Think about how lucky you are where you live in a country that gives you the opportunity to be a YouTuber. Go make some content. Get your phone out, get in your car, go somewhere, put it in front of your face that you're afraid to show.
Blind Views makes content. Nobody's scared. That's not what I do. I've made content. I promise you, I've made some videos making fun of stuff too, but I'm a commentator. Why would I be doing what you're saying to do, Tim, when I'm a commentator? That is what I do. And I do specifically mental health commentary. So I don't understand why you're telling me to do something that's not what I do.
And talk and see if somebody wants to listen to you. Cook, build something, talk to politics if you like. Do whatever.
Well, Tim, I have 182,000 souls right this moment watching. What are you talking about? Make sure you hit the likes to put me up the algorithm. So I appreciate that. But Tim, I've got 180,000 souls watching me right this minute. What are you talking about? So yeah, I've got people watching me. Am I the biggest channel on YouTube? No. But I have a community that I really like, and I get to see, and we have fun, and we see. I don't know what got up Tim's. Oh, I promise you guys wait.
There's everybody out there. There's billions of people.
He gets real
millions, I should say, that are YouTubers that do different things. And maybe you can find a way. You're not going to make any money by trying to copycat me or other YouTubers.
This is the place where Tim needs to be very clear with what he's referring to as a copycat, because there's obviously two ways that I always say this can be interpreted, because Tim doesn't really clarify. Copycat as in just copying, sitting in a car and vlogging, because people have been doing that forever, Tim. That's been nothing new. Or do you mean people taking your stuff here and making commentary around it? Is that, am I the copycat? I think that's what he's referring to, because I'm the one that gets the copyright strikes. I'm the one with the channel strike at the moment, Tim. So, as I said, you have to join the members only to find out maybe more. But I have, I'm being very on the DL. But yeah, Tim will have a video where he'll be more agitated probably in a few weeks. Keep going, Tim.
Copycat in the sense that I'm not the only one that does RV content. I'm not the only one that will cook every now and then. I'm not the only one that does everything that I do.
Oh, okay.
Everybody on YouTube, like certain people that build or cook or whatever, they saw other people doing it, but they're doing their own. They're not playing their video. They're doing their own. They say, you know, I like doing that and I'm good at it. I'm going to do that. So do that, you know, but riding the coattails of people or copying them or playing their content where you're only going to get a copyright strike, or, you know, I'd like to be able to play music on my YouTube, but the people that wrote the songs and sing the songs said, you can't do that. That's my stuff. Go make your own music. And so it's really quite simple. But the few people.
No, Tim, you actually can get, sorry, I'm having a little martini tonight, guys. I apologize. You actually, Tim, can get a, because it's the adult hour. I'm just prefacing it. Some type of license that allows you to play copyrighted music. It just costs you like a certain amount a month, but Tim's a cheap son of a bitch, so he would not pay for that. So I think he's going on about people like me. All right, keep going.
There's only a few. They have multiple channels. They have multiple usernames. So watch your P's and Q's, because, you know, what good are you doing yourself, wasting your time? And you're certainly not doing us any good to come over into our yard, into our community, and you don't want to be nice or contribute. You know, it's just great to be able to make these videos and read all these supportive, encouraging people. And I've made videos like this before, a year ago or more, when I used to let some stuff like that bother me. And no, you can say it all day. It doesn't bother me. I know who you are and what you do and how often you do it. I'm just like, I've got new people in my community, and I tell people about my channel, and I don't want any people that aren't aware.
Tim, even the new people in the channel, they all get that sarcastic response that says, you must be new here if they say anything. So, I mean, content and all the things you doing about being a channel striker and stuff. I actually have a meeting with my YouTube guy in March. And I'm going to mention your behaviors. Just giving you a heads up.
To be fooled by your disingenuous, lying, disparaging content that you just make up. And let me just go over one or two things that I've heard about over the last year and a half. And this is something I want my community to hear too, because, and I'm not going to make another one of these videos again for a while. So enjoy it. Folks, anything that you might have peered across the fence and listened to those people about, I've never wanted to defend or do anything, because, you know, what good is it? Are they going to just go, oh, since I tell the truth about what's going on that they're lying about, once I correct their lies, are they going to say, oh, Tim, we're so sorry. We repent. Would you please forgive us? Please unblock us. Please allow.
Just to give heads out. And I did talk about that right at the start about my hoping that he is taking care of his mental health and that everything goes well for him at this time. So I did give him a shout out. Absolutely. We are a community here, even though Tim starts to say that we even hate on each other. And I think that's, everybody's adults. And I think then we address it like adults. We're not out there doing the rage fest like you, Tim. But this video also gets Tim his most amount of views, and that's what happens to these people. And Catherine made a very good point about that a moment ago. That this is what happened to the people in Girl World, Tim, and some of the reaction channels that have been in Girl World, primarily Zachary Michael, who is one of the larger, if not the largest, creator of Girl World. And then me as a micro Girl World once commentator have kind of found that you might react the same way. And when you guys start doing these rage fests, this is what we wait for.
Allow us to comment again. We're going to keep watching you because we're doing that anyway. But, we are so sorry. We had you all wrong. Like people are doing to Donald Trump right now. There are people that disparage that guy that are now knowing they were wrong. And a lot of them are admitting it.
Oh, you're fine.
They're seeing. How can you deny? Why aren't these people that were being they're being outed, these Democrats, these fraudulent things they're spending money on? Why aren't they saying that's not true? Here's what.
Isn't he supposed to wear like glaucoma sunglasses? My grandma always had to. That was a good point. Where's your sunglasses, Tim? I'm just listening to the rage. Gosh, this is a narcissistic rage going on here, right here, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, keep going.
What it is. Here's what it is. Here's
Very
the truth.
treatment
No,
resistant.
they're not saying any of that. They're just screaming and yelling because they're losing their money. They're not getting it anymore. They're not fooling anybody anymore. So I want to say to the community at large, and even some haters that joined on that believe the other haters, PPP during the pandemic is not alone. PPP was never a loan. PPP is payroll.
This is what always is interesting when Tim gets into the subject about PPP. Tim, it was because you'd already been on unemployment for some time. And then you took the PPP, which is payroll protection. And the only person that was on payroll was nobody, because you had not been going door to door with your oil coupon business for the time that you had been claiming unemployment. And from what I understood, reading the laws around it, you could not take unemployment and a payment protection loan that turned into a grant for you. But you don't mention the EIDL, which we'll get into at the end of this too.
Protection program. It is a free grant. It is because, hey, we, the government, put you out of business. We told you to stop and go home and sit down.
Tim, how are you always, how can you get free grants? How are you somebody who is so eligible for free money? How does that not make you angry that some guy who just sold oil change coupons gets free money? What benefit have you ever given to anybody? But you would be so angry to think that somebody like me as a nurse or somebody had even like $2 of student loan forgiveness, even though I worked during the pandemic. Do you think that anything was given to me by the American people to thank me for literally putting my life on the line to catch a deadly disease, taking care of people? But you, who sat on your proverbial behind most of your life, by the way, because of you finding, just taking then money from the wives, probably, in my opinion, allegedly, to then this, for your coupon business, you really think you were deserving of free taxpayers' money for that? I don't think you were, sir.
And give us some time to flatten the curve. And so by doing so, if you were a business, here is what you normally make, and you have to prove it with your income tax. Here is your salary for just a few weeks. It was not for a year or anything. It was like maybe a month, maybe 2. I can't remember. That's it. That's it. That's all it was. That's what they gave us. And then they were hoping that the pandemic would end and we could get back to normal, but it didn't.
Tim?
So they gave it.
Well, how were you able to get the $900 a week, you were saying, of unemployment benefits? And then you got this PPPL, which you said was nothing even the size of the stimulus check. Though I have understandings it could have been up to $30,000 that you potentially had forgiven. And then you don't mention the EIDL loan, which I know David knows the SBA number for that. So David, if you want to drop that into the chat, then go ahead and do that. Because we have evidence of your SBA loan number, Tim, that you took out for that $58,000 in EIDL that you are paying $300 a month for. And that's how you were able to buy all the stuff that you were able to purchase initially. So you can get as narcissistically ragey as you want to. So in my opinion, allegedly, watching you get so defensive here. It's the self-entitlement. It's being defensive. Do I have to bring out the DSM-5?
A second round of PPP, Payroll Protection Program, a free check, a grant. Hey, we need 2 more weeks. We need 2 more months to flatten this curve. Here's you some more money because we won't allow you to open. We put you out of business. We won't let you go door-to-door selling. So here, you don't pay it back. You don't pay it back. It's not a loan. It's your money that you would have earned that we're keeping you from earning. We didn't tell you to go. We didn't tell you to quit working. I mean,
keeping you from earning. Tim, my neighbor. Look at Tim. Oh, that would have been a better thumbnail. Tim, my neighbor, he was put out of work because his work was in he does things with like concerts, like punk bands primarily, but he goes all around the world, like Europe and all different places. And he like manages and tours and does things with all these different bands and does like things to do with their venues and so on and so forth. Basically like a road manager. And so he was out of work. But guess what? He went and got a job at the Walmart Supercenter and did such a good job that they wanted to hire him and promote him like to manager there. So you are still an able-bodied man who was still technically within working age. But you just saw free money, Tim, just like how you saw the free money with Social Security. And YouTube is now been the other free money gift, because you put out a shitty, poorly created, because you have no expertise, video on Social Security, and you happen to somehow get picked up in the algorithm. And it happens on occasion that somebody will put out a video, and whatever it is, that topic just happens to be trending, and the algorithm will pick it up. And that's what happened with Sarasota Tim. And he seemed affable and likable enough that people started to watch him. And he just kept appearing in people's feeds. He kept even appearing. That's how I found him initially. He appeared in my feed. And then I was just like, how is it that this guy who just like seemed to be like living in this one condition, and he was just lapping it up. I mean, you could just tell that the views and just the people. And then as it went on, he was just putting out, he was just maybe putting out a video a day. And he was getting enough views. And then I guess when the views started to decrease and he was seeing how much money he could get for the views, he would put out 10 videos a day. Tim, keep going.
We told you to quit working. You didn't just sit on your lazy butt and ask us for free money or take a loan. It's not a loan. PPP was given to every business that wanted it.
No.
Did.
I had my own nursing business at the time, Tim, and I would provide private nursing services, like higher caliber for patients. And I was just starting this business, and I had a whole different type of business plan with it. But in the story, I got some EIDL, I think, money that came through, and one little EIDL loan for like $1,200 or something small. That was it. And I had one business. I was one person with one business, Tim, and that's all I was eligible for. And I made pretty decent money with my business because I could not get out and really meet and get to know people and do things, because obviously, we were on lockdown. So my business but I still was working enough that I only took I didn't take any unemployment. I still worked. Obviously, I was in healthcare. And then I went to work in hospice during the pandemic. So I kind of decided that I was just going to, the money was obviously good in the hospital systems at the time. And I just ended up going and working in hospice. Anyway, all that. But Tim, you were an able-bodied man. And you get so, I tell you, getting angry and frustrated because the gravy train here is coming to an end. And people are realizing you just took a lot of money from people. Now you're trying to do a scammy religious thing.
Some businesses take PPP money that had a lot of employees that amounted to a substantial amount of money for a month or two, because that's all they gave you. It wasn't a year's worth of money. Did they take it? And it was to pay for their income, their income that they were making, and to pay their employees. And did they just go ahead and shut the doors and keep that money and not give those people that work for them anything? I think there was. I think there's a problem for them people. I think that they got to worry. Right. What did I do? I was a self-starter, entrepreneur, one-man show. And the amount of money I got.
Self-starter, entrepreneur, one-man show. Tim, everybody finds it interesting that what you did was something that a lot of most grown male adults would not be doing. And that was going door to door, selling those oil change coupons. So there was some way back in the day that they would go and get a business that maybe they had one location or several locations in a town, and they would get them to do these coupon books. I think they would pay for the printing. Somebody explained it to me. But anyway, it was generally not considered much of a job, Tim. I mean, really. And I mean, God, no wonder he and JJ get on. That's all I'm going to say. You'll see what he and Bev have been up to, how they make their money, how they pay for all that Hummel collection. All right, keep going, Tim.
That was not much more than a stimulus check. And I got another one because I was entitled to it. That was what my personal earnings were on my income tax return after my deductions, my personal income. It doesn't.
Well, Tim, I'm your personal income on your tax deductions. I mean, there was a lot of things going on when people submitted that paperwork, Tim. As truthful as you are to your audience, I'm thinking it's as truthful as you were to your paperwork. And let me thank Flat Pat for being so generous again. Flat Pat says, Dim says you will only live into your mid-70s, yet he took a 30-year loan at 66, which he damn well knows he won't live long enough to pay it back, and sticks it to the taxpayer. Abso-freaking-lutely. And that is what he's built his channel on, too, with his going around with the RV and the truck and the toys. It's, you know, and having a great YouTube channel, there's no harm in it, Tim. I promise you, when I was doing, and yeah, I don't mind, you know, let me know if I'm being irritating with the creator school, but it was interesting. And if you have an interest in YouTube, obviously it was interesting to me that, you know, that there's a lot of potential with having a really good channel. I think you just don't know enough about filmmaking to create anything that's visually interesting, Tim. When you do travel around the country, you don't take the time to show any interesting focal things. You just rush from one end of the country to the next, staying at truck stops. And like most people are not interested in seeing the truck stops of America. You know, it's not, you're not even really talking about, it's kind of, it's, all these places you passed. Do we even get a sense of no? And you're not. What are you in such a hurry to get back for? You're supposedly retired, but you rush back so quick. I unless it was because you needed to take care of your eye. Well, then say it's for your health. But you know, it's you make really boring content. Anyway, let me get back to my content. It's not boring. Yes, he's alluded to he got 2 years deferred payment, so he took it. Oh, well, that means he's gonna have his payments so starting now, probably then. So he owes $300 a month. I don't know if he's stuck with that car payment. I'm guessing this is the truck because he's trying to sell the Honda, and the Honda had a for sale sign on it. Tim, everyone sees that Honda's still for sale. Even though they said he wasn't trying to unload the Honda.
It isn't based on what you gross. It's based on what you can prove that you made or you pay yourself. So the lies that have been out there, the
Tim,
maligning.
They had people submitting all types of numbers. They really did. They were asking for like next to nothing for proof at the time.
Slandering, the exaggerations. Okay, now you got the truth. Okay, so it never had to be paid back. It was about this much. I got it twice, and it's over.
What about the EIDL loan, Tim? David, I know David's going to end up putting the SBA number somewhere, but there is evidence of Timothy Baker Sr. having his SBA, and there's a loan number to that. And I have had it highlighted in a comment section before. And he did take out $58,000 in EIDL.
And I never had to pay it back. It is not a loan. It was a grant. Second of all, I heard from somebody that's a friend of mine that peers over the fence every now and then, that other channels that copy me spread a rumor.
Thank you. Okay, so if anybody would like to check the EIDL loan number, maybe at the end we'll pull this up in a moment, David. So I'm going to star this. That we have this 34202. I'm going to write this down. So that's SBA loan number 34202. And that will show the other loan that you took out, Tim. That you don't like to talk about. And then the Honda is still listed for $35,999. He's winning. Absolutely, Tree. He's winning. Always. Absolutely winning.
I don't know. Maybe some of my communities watch them. I don't watch them. And may believe it or wonder that I ever sold cars.
Tim, I did a whole video about you and your cholesterol. And then the next day you came out and talked about health is wealth and how you were going to change your diet. And the language that you used was almost parroting what I had said about diet.
Now, a car salesman job is not hard to get. In fact, anybody can get, almost. They say, I've heard, that I never sold cars, that I was a car washer, because I used to make videos of waxing a 4Runner I had about 100 times. And I know I'll be corrected by TRD because he's got the last count. It was Mini and the Tundra. But I enjoy detailing cars. I know about it. I actually did want to do it as a business one time, and I studied it quite hard. I got on that, like I'm on guns right now and other things. I mean, I get on something and I get on it. And I'm a self-starter. I'm a motivator. I like to work for myself to make money. So while I never
No,
had...
Tim, no. The reason why you like to work for yourself is you probably don't take direction, because you mentioned in one video that when you were learning to do the coupon sales, you said to the guy after 15 minutes that he didn't need to teach you anymore, that you could just do it on your own. And yet it wasn't that successful necessarily initially. But you really don't like to be told what to do. And that goes along with potentially the traits that you have, Tim. Just saying. All right, keep going, Tim.
Well, somebody paid me a couple of times to do their car, but I never had a business. And I certainly wasn't a detailer in the automobile. And I was one of the top salesmen. And that's what I did most of the time, because you only promote...
Well, Tim, if you were not a detailer, then why did you have a ton of videos on your channel, a whole video collection that was all about car detailing, but nothing about all of the car sales or what a consumer should look out for from car salesmen? Because a lot of people would love to know the tricks of the trade. You never mentioned the tricks of the trade for car sales. And the way you've been buying all these assets that are losing liabilities, actually, I would say that you only listen to car salespeople. There's no way that they had you, Tim, at 16 selling cars. No way.
Terrible salesman to management. Dealerships do not like the salesman that can sell a lot of cars to be a manager. It's like stupid. Keep that person on the floor. Thirdly, what was another one I heard? Oh man, this is a doozy. My Social Security, because I said I had a lucrative business, my Social Security is not my Social Security. I couldn't possibly get, and I'm only getting what you get at 62, and I'm only getting what most average people get. Which I still promote. You get it at 62. Right. You're crazy to wait. I mean, quit working and get your Social Security and do a side hustle and make the same amount of money working just a little bit with your...
Tim, if you've been any type of top car sales guy, you probably would not have left the car sales business to go and sell door-to-door coupons, for one. Because people who do well in car sales do very well in car sales. I have a friend of mine whose husband unfortunately passed away, but he was somebody who worked for a very large auto sales group in this area in Virginia, and he made excellent money. And all of her children, when he sadly passed away, one of the children was still under the age of 19 and was eligible to get Social Security benefits because of it. And it was a very good amount. And he made very good money. I think your Social Security, even taken at 62, I don't know. I have my doubts, Tim. Why would you leave a lucrative car sales job to go door to door and sell coupons? It doesn't make sense.
Your Social Security, as you are going to that prison job, paying all that gas and cleaning, dry cleaning, lunches. We've gone all through it. I'll make another video on it. Social Security's coming up. But people are spreading a
prison job. Did they fire you from the car sales place because you were being narky with the managers? Were you being a narc there and they just couldn't handle you? Anyway, keep going.
Rumor, a lie that somehow or another my Social Security isn't my Social Security. I was previously married and I'm getting my money from one of my exes. Now I know that my exes, and if you don't know and you're my ex and you're watching me, go get it, because all of my exes were not career women. This is not to cut them down anyway, but they never would draw as much on their...
I thought his first spouse was a school teacher. How is that not a career?
Social Security at 62 as I do. You know, they just didn't work enough. They didn't earn enough. I did. So I'm not getting anything from them. If I could, I would. If it meant more, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm telling them right now. And your ex, your 3 exes, if you've got them, can collect on you. It doesn't take a penny from you. And so if I had some rich ex that got a lot of money and it was more than mine, I would be doing it. But these women were not, they were not big earners. They were not big earners at all. I won't go into what they did. Or
Tim trying to just throw shade, at his ex-wives here. You're so nice, Tim.
Earned, but no. I got my Social Security, my best 35 years. It doesn't matter how little you work, folks, or how often you work. It's how much you've paid in, and it's your best 35 years. And I've worked since I was 16, and I've done pretty darn well. So, you know, years ago, if you ever got it, they send you that paper in the mail from Social Security. You got my hands off. I couldn't say it.
Tim, what happened? Was that a Tim edit there?
You ever get that paper that comes that says, if you retire today, you get this much money on your Social Security? Well, I've gotten that paper. They probably sent it to your
Tim, you've always said it was free money. So that's why it's so confusing. He's like Elizabeth Taylor. I think it's 3, Catherine. I think that's the number we know. Oh my God. Imagine. Tree says, honestly, can you imagine anyone having to work with him? No, I can't. Probably be having. Can you imagine the toxic work environment that Tim would create? Oh my goodness, Tim. Tim, I can't even remember what I was going to say now. I'm sorry. The comments were so much better than what I was obviously going to say. Oh, Tim was talking about his wives and the. Oh, Tim, calm down. You're getting very upset here. Okay. Let me concentrate on Tim, guys. I love
email now or whatever, because it's, you know, they don't use the mail. They just send it to you if they got your email. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I know my point again. Sorry. Tim, okay. If you're making a point here at the moment, so just hear me out, that you worked so hard and it was based on your earnings and it was based on your best 35 years and you got the IRS statement that said you've worked for 35 years now. So that would have made Tim, okay, so he was 62 when he began collecting his initial Social Security check. So his 35 years, that would have made him initially 17 when he started working, which, you know, technically that seems about the time when he would have left school, around 16 or 17. So potentially, did Tim have 35 years of work history from his 17 to 62? Yes and no, because I want to say that if he stopped working in 2020, that was 5 years ago, and he would have stopped working then at 61 and received the unemployment. So the unemployment, I don't know if that money goes towards Social Security. I would say no, it does not count as Social Security earnings. So was it 16 then? Because we got to get those 35 years, because we know that Tim stopped working during the pandemic to get the unemployment benefits. And then we know that he also then took the PPP. He has mentioned in videos in the past that he, so sad, I know all this, that he lived. I have to be remembering things about dopamine receptors, Tim, not your nonsense, but somehow it's in my brain. That you said, sir, that you were, what was it, working and, you know, getting the unemployment then because you were taken out, and then you were living off your PPP, the loan money that you got. And so if the PPP money, sir, was only the size of a stimulus check, what loan money were you living off of? Because you've conveniently not mentioned the EIDL loan in this video, which in the past you have mentioned, sir, that you have lived off those savings before you were eligible for Social Security, which you have called free money, which brings to my point. If it's free money, then how do you feel like you contributed to what you call free money? That's why people, I guess, believe that it was from your ex-wife's earnings, because you're calling it free money. Anybody who's spent their lifetime contributing to Social Security and have looked at it being taken out of their paycheck earnings and so forth, Tim, will tell you you contribute quite a lot over to like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. It's a big old chunky chunk of money over there. Sometimes I would be shocked. I had one time where I was getting some bonuses for work, and I had supposedly over-contributed to Social Security. But I didn't get a refund back for that. I guess Social Security just keeps that extra money. So you contribute to it. So if you were doing all that, Tim, how is it free money? Make it make sense. Can't someone find his tax records? I wonder if I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know if you could just look up somebody's IRS. Maybe we need to send Doge on that.
Have you ever gotten it? It tells you how much you paid in, how much your earnings have been so far, all the places you work. And I used to get those. I used to get excited. It was like, oh, wow, that's pretty good, man. When I get to be 62, I'm definitely getting it. I mean, look how much it is already. And, I thought about working also. And so the last couple of years before I got Social Security, I'm counting the days down, baby. I mean, I couldn't wait till 62. The last thing I ever thought of was, waiting till I'm 67 and about dead. Hell no. I said, man, 62, I'm drawn. Then when the pandemic came, they put us out of business. And then I couldn't even do my business anymore. And by the grace of God, they offered to people that that normally don't receive unemployment because you're self-employed. You have to work for someone to get it. I got unemployment.
My math's not mathing. Oh, that's terrible. I know. Thank you, guys. Thank you for correcting me. Gosh. See, I'm not claiming to be a math expert. I work in much smaller numbers for dosages. You saw me struggling. I'm like 35. I'm like 60. Thank you, guys. I was struggling. I was thinking 40 some. So that would have been he was okay. So what happened to all the years before then? Well, I guess maybe he had extra years. Thank you, Keith. Thank you for that. See, Tim would have deleted that. I'm just saying I'm an idiot tonight. I mean, I need to lay off the martini. Angel says, so Chris is telling me, okay, if he sold the coupon books for 33 years and brought home $5 per sale of 5 books per day, he would have made like $80K in 33 years. That's an annual salary, the way he's bragging. It's the way he's bragging. Tax information is private. Thank you, old guy talks money. We know he will get in there. I know my math terrible tonight. God, thank God I deal with small doses in my drugs. My drugs are all like 1 milligram. Thank God for that. Okay, keep going.
Which all gig workers and self-employed people received during the pandemic. I got PPP, and then all of a sudden I got to the time to get Social Security. And if it wasn't for the grace of God of my savings and the unemployment and the PPP and everything else.
Savings? Is that SBA loan number 34202, which was almost $59,000, Tim? We're going to bring that up. If somebody wants to drop, hey, David, do you want to drop the link for the SBA loan? Somebody drop the link in for SBA loan number 34202. We'll take a look at that after this. And then we're going to give away some channel giveaways. And I might have to top up on my kettle one. Keep going, Tim.
I wasn't able to earn my own money anymore. And so my sources of income were going to dry up. I didn't know what I was going to do. But that leapfrogged me, that bridged me into getting my Social Security. Yeah. And then I went from there. And then I started passing out cookies at Publix and crackers. And then the YouTube channel, the algorithm picked it up, like I was talking about earlier. And the channel became monetized. It grew. And I started talking about.
Oh, Tim, you talk about the algorithm picking up your video because we all talk about that. That's language you took from the hater channels.
Social Security, and that was like multi-million views, and the rest is history. And I'm just doing what I'm doing. And for whatever reason it is, since that, people want to not believe some things and turn it around. They see the success.
Yeah, I've made a couple of videos covering that deleted EIDL video. And I think it was on and you can go to my channel and find that. And also it will link to the channel that did actually upload that video before Tim deleted it. And we shall always be thankful for the archiving, because that is one of the things that is so important in these communities is archiving, because these people will change their narratives. And so we always have to try to remind people that Tim will lie his way out of any situation, in my opinion.
Success of a channel, not just mine, but others. And they want to kind of use it to try to use hate like the media does and just spread lies and slander. So people like, I guess, drama and watch theirs.
Okay, Tim,
and so
if it really is slander, then take us to court. That's the big word you're using there, sir. If it really is, then why don't you seek legal representation on that instead of just getting to a narcissistic rage on YouTube? Because I think you will realize that every piece of evidence that gets shown will prove otherwise. I don't know about whether or not, but I have a feeling that coupon business didn't. It's very expensive to be self-employed. The self-employment taxes are very high, and you contribute the employment and the unemployment and all of these different areas. It's a lot of money. I learned that you've got to be netting a decent amount as a small business in order to really, be able to kind of cushion for what you're going to be having to pay as the employer and employee. It's not it's definitely a larger tax burden you take on.
I got sucked up in the vacuum like Donald Trump and other YouTube channels that definitely get trolls and haters. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. Hell, I already know now.
Every time he compares himself to Donald Trump, it's interesting. I'm
a veteran. All these channels have haters. In fact, some of my haters,
you're not a veteran, Tim.
Hate on other channels. I think they do. I'm sure they do. I mean, why not? That's what they like to do. So, but I just want to straighten people out because I don't know where they got, found me and what they wanted to leech on for or what they get out of it by, what difference does it make to me what you've done in your life that I don't agree with or envious of? Why do I need to tell you what you need to do or others don't do what this guy does or thinks, don't think like him, don't do like him, don't look like him, don't be like him, don't live where he lives, don't buy what he buys. I mean, that's what they do. And it's like, why? It's good. It's really good. Collecting Social Security at 62, living in an RV, not having debt, driving a nice car, having friends, believing in God, praying.
Oh, gosh. Tim, you are the religious manipulator. But then again, if you have quit alcohol, I'm not surprised that you found, if you've gone in the AA, that's kind of parcel of that. People are not jealous of you, Tim. I just want to point that out. People are not jealous of you. People are irritated with you if you are lying about having used taxpayer money to benefit yourself. And I'm glad that you're talking about having all of your success from YouTube and that you get some AdSense money and so forth. Because for a long time, you didn't even really talk about, how much money you made. And you probably earn a lot of money. And so all these hater channels, especially Darling, does some really good videos exposing Tim's differing monetary gains that he has had throughout his time on YouTube. And we're not saying that you shouldn't make money on YouTube, Tim. It's not that. But I think you don't really provide any expertise or advice. Your content, if people want to watch your mundane content because they find comfort in it, that's fine, Tim. That's fine. But to say that people are lying about certain things about you, I'm sorry that you feel so defensive about it, but that's part of your narcissistic rage, sir, because people have known you for years and have, collected evidence. It's not just because people are making up stories around you, sir.
Making your bed when you get out of it first thing in the morning, keeping your house clean, eating correctly, working out, going to the gym. I mean, all of these things, while I'm not a perfect person by any shakes, and I've never been, and I had a lot of bad habits that I'll never hope to return to in my life, over my life, like you have. I put my pants on one leg at a time.
I couldn't tell if Tim said he was a veteran or not. I hope not, because we already had a video where the people talked about his stolen valor video when he wanted to lie about being a veteran in order to get like a hotel discount. And you were okay with lying about that, Tim. This is why people think you're kind of an S-bag sometimes, sir. That you would have the entitlement to say, yes, I did that in order to get yourself a monetary discount, knowing full well that you never served in the military. You just blatantly would lie about it. That's actually called stolen valor, sir. And that is something that you, in your narcissism, you see no problem with doing something like that. And that's Timmy. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. I wanted to get rid of that. All right,
but since then, I'm mature. You know, and a lot of these people I mentioned, you know how old they are? It's actually embarrassing for me to know that a couple of them are in their 70s and they're talking and acting like that. It's absolutely, I mean, it's embarrassing that we have people that haven't grown up yet. And what are they getting at? And you know, a lot of these people that are doing it, they're just following along with them other people because they believe they're BS. And they don't even have a YouTube channel. They just, I don't know, like to hate too or something. But quite a few of them are actually the same person. And they actually can create these usernames. They can buy their likes. They say, Tim's no good. Tim's a moron, and get 87 thumbs up on that comment in 5 minutes. Now, how is that possible? And how is it even true? When you know I'm not a moron. You know it. I'm not a moron. They're the moron. I know I am, but what are you? No, I know you are, but what am I? However the saying goes. So anyway, this was fun. Whatever I have on my mind, I talk about. I run this past some people every now and then. They're like, no, Tim, don't do it. Don't do it. You're just acknowledging them. You're just playing into you're playing into them. Folks, I ain't playing into nothing. I'm doing me and they're doing them. Crush it.
Oh, Tim.
You got to love when Fox gets these.
Oh, Tim. Sorry, guys. I watch all types of things on TV to understand different mentalities. So I have all sorts of weird things come up. All right. So, Tim. He's mature. I know. He said he was mature then. I'll probably get copyright strike by that channel that flashed up now. That's why I was like trying to get a. Anyway. Oh my goodness, Tim. I was supposed to take. Anyway. Tim. Immature. Yeah. I really don't think that Tim is acting that mature there. I never know with those videos if it's Tim just having a little bit of a rage fest, or is it Tim actually you know, trying to get more views to his channel? Because obviously Tim does understand that. I do think he doesn't like people criticizing him. I will give that much to him. All right, guys, let's go to my channel real fast because I am going to give away the actual memberships now. So if you've been participating in the chat, and so there is a feature somewhere on my channel page, I think, when you come into the chat, that enables you to be gifted memberships, and they can be memberships that are gifted by me or memberships that are gifted by other people in the community. And so I'm going to gift out some memberships now in order to, let me see, let me get over here. Let me see if I can share this screen instead. Let me see. This is my first time doing this. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna be in a parallel universe because we're gonna see me live with you live and everyone live. Okay, let me see. Now I'm supposed to be able to get down here somewhere. Now let me get into this part. All right. Show chat. All right, let me change this to fan funding. Oh, no. There's supposed to be a way that I get into here. Here we go. And I am now going to gift some memberships. Okay, so has everybody had a chance who is interested, has clicked the feature to say that you will be happy to get gifted memberships? And I am now, unlike Tim, who likes to only take from people, I am going to gift now 5 memberships. So all of you who are here, let me see who's going to win. Terms apply, obviously. We're going to give 5 now. All right. So let's see who gets them. This is exciting. Yay! My gift has been announced. Okay. Yay! Cat Lady was gifted a membership. Oh, yeah. I know some of these people got the $25. You guys are lucky. Angel of Glass was gifted a membership. Congratulations. Tater Tot Hot Dish was gifted a membership. Jay Boogie Fire was gifted a membership. And Patty was gifted a membership. Yay! Thank you, guys. If you want to drop some thumbs up emojis, I have like little emojis that show me hitting thumbs up. So if you guys all want to do that, you guys can hit that. So there's like little ones there. If you want to pop some emojis in the chat, that's awesome. Congratulations, everybody who got those. And there'll be another live later on this month where we'll give out another 5 of those. So congratulations, everybody, for that. Okay, so let's get over to what I was going to talk about with Tim's enabler. So let's change to a different screen. Okay, I'm going to share this tab instead. Okay, so so we're actually now, this is a different part of the live stream. And you got the $25. Oh, well, I'm so glad you're getting lucky over here. Yeah, thank you for all the emojis. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, Angel Glass, I'm always happy since you're a wonderful mod. So people who participate are going to, in the chat, obviously, and make sure that you enable that feature, guys, for anybody else, obviously, to get access to the community. And those of you who just got the memberships, you're members for a month, and look out for that special live stream coming up. Okay, guys. So I'm kind of wondering if JJ is Tim's narcissistic enabler, but whether he's got those traits himself too, which is the narcissistic kind of symbiosis sometimes, which is kind of with a leader and a follower. And sometimes I wonder if Tim's the leader or if JJ is the leader and who's the follower. But it seems like these two together quite the pair. And JJ, it seems, has a long history that goes back some time on the internet. It's around sales of dogs, believe it or not, of all things. So, narcissistic enablers. This article I found from a company called Choosing Therapy. This young lady wrote it, who is a licensed clinical mental health counselor, has a lot of certifications. It was medically reviewed. And so I did kind of, and then obviously down below, because I always like to make sure that things have good sources, at least some, that they did actually show the different sources that they use. It's a little older. The sources I like to go within 5 years. This article is from 24, so it's very recent. And so some of the things that I found interesting was the idea of how much JJ enables some of Tim's behaviors as far as getting this angry, wanting to strike channels. I feel as if it may have come from Chris Google Maps in the past. I don't feel that he's as prevalent as much as maybe JJ is, and how JJ is somebody who really has done things around copyright before. But anyway, so 10 signs of the narcissistic enabler. I'm going to show this tab instead because this is nice. So 10, they are part of the narcissists inner circle. And obviously, like I said, I don't treat or diagnose Tim, but if you just watch that call, and I have obviously had times where I've talked about the DSM-5 and some of his behaviors and entitlement, I think you can kind of feel even the entitlement in that last video that we watched. So yeah, the t-shirts at Walmart. Yeah. Unemployment does not play Social Security. Thank you, Phoebe. Yeah, I didn't think so. But thank you for clarifying. They are part of the narcissist inner circle. Their strengths, talents, and resources are used by the narcissist, which we know that JJ definitely his home, his house, where he stayed. He certainly enjoyed a lot of that. They subscribe to the narcissist deluded version of reality. That these two guys are these cool guys. They go off shooting guns. That Tim's the king of YouTube. Now, JJ, interestingly enough, has 22,000 subscribers to his Crushing It channel. I don't even dare to show his Crushing It channel on unless it's a private members only video. So those of you who are members now will be able to see that live. But because I'm not going to put that out publicly because I don't want to get copyright striked. But he definitely is somebody who I'm trying to figure out, how do you have so few videos, but you have 22,000 subscribers? It's interesting. He says the channel's not monetized. I feel like there was like a huge gap of years too between the videos, which makes me think he privated or something changed with the channel. Like he had something before and then it disappeared. And we don't, and he's just like kind of now attached himself to Tim. But JJ's been kind of doing things on the internet for some time, from what I can see. Anyway, they always stand up for the narcissist. So JJ actually did come into my comment sections and kind of called Tim out or supported him, and then got upset when somebody said that something about him striking Zach's channel. And somebody then mentioned about his problematic behaviors. And JJ was basically, I'm not a grifter. I don't have my channel monetized and so forth. I give any monies that people donate to me to this cancer center and so forth. But there's other things. Anyway, he definitely stands up for Tim. 5, they protect the narcissist from themselves. They always choose the narcissist side. They put the narcissist before themselves. They mirror some of the narcissist tactics. They are driven by fear. The narcissist is their drug of choice. And for whatever reason, JJ is, Tim's new buddy. Okay. Why do these people, why are these type of people becoming enablers? They are codependent. They blinded, love for the narcissist. I don't know if love like romantic love, but maybe some type of admiration and respect of JJ to Tim. I'm not sure. Maybe he respected that one channel, his video was so, big, and JJ has been somebody he's been doing a lot on the internet for a while. So 2 people who are kind of using the social media platforms for their gain. I think they have a lot in common, and I think that JJ is feeling a kindred spirit. They both live in Florida. They both obviously enjoy pew-pews. So I think that there's a lot of things. Says they're afraid of being abandoned. I don't know about this so much with JJ. This I don't see this necessarily. And that just talks about how to deal with them. Keep your cool. Let me show. When you're dealing with enemy, keep your cool. Don't confide in them. Set a boundary. Don't enable the enabler. Ask the obvious, and so forth. So this is just kind of, for those who, have interest in that. Anyway. Yeah, definitely shows a lot of women's, narcissists stick together. They do. They actually do get on together. So I wanted to show you a little bit about something I found out about JJ. So let me share this tab instead. Okay, so somebody actually mentioned to me and I don't want to take any credit. Let me show this media assets here. Let me see. I had a little video. All right, let me loop this. Let me bring this video up. Hopefully I'll stop it fast enough. Here we go. Oh, okay. All right. So these are the different things that I got. That's JJ having left a comment. And this is his about he ran a puppy mill. So yeah, sorry, they went kind of quick. I thought I could stop them, but I guess I can't. Oh, maybe I have to do it a different way. Sorry, guys. So anyway, somebody basically let me know that JJ had been running some type of puppy mill and flying monkeys. And so I was like, flying monkeys? I'm not sure. Yeah, flying monkeys. The flying monkeys. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The flying monkeys. Exactly. If anyone's familiar with the sort of term flying monkeys, it comes from the Wizard of Oz, and where, obviously the flying monkeys supported the Wicked Witch of the West. So they call those for people flying monkeys. So yeah, interesting. Thank you for reminding me of that one. Tim's video peed me off so bad because he thinks he deleted the EIDL video, and now he can lie to his subscribers. Well, it's still out there. So, you know, if people look, they can still find it. So I found, so somebody had mentioned to me that JJ, John Bianco was somebody who had been breeding dogs in the past. And so I ended up in a rabbit hole that I did, and I'm not going to show his website here because it's copyrighted and I know what he's like. So anything I'll do like that, I'm going to do members only in order to avoid that. But this is back in May 2004, May 20th, 2004. And it says, hasn't Jay Bianco always said, or Bianco always said on the Maltese forum that he's not a breeder? And it says, I met a lady the other day. She works for my eye doctor who has 2 Maltese. She said she got one from a Jay Bianco. I thought that must be a coincidence. I know I've seen Jay say that he doesn't, I guess she means breed, but breeder. I asked if this was Jay Bianco who had a wife named Bev, and she said, yup, that's the guy. Incidentally, she said she loved your dog very much, but was not very happy with the quality of the breeding. She said he had curly hair and lemon markings and strongly resembled a Bichon. So this goes on through this thread because it seems that JJ was and still is the holder of a website called MalteseOnly.com. And it's a copyrighted website, which is why I'm not showing it here. And the picture that is on it of Jay and Bev is that one picture of when they were very young that he also had on the video on his YouTube platform. So it's very clearly these 2 individuals, and there's more proof onto this. And so he actually seems to have had a history of having since a long time ago. And it's very clear. This is why it's so interesting on this website, because he clearly points out that nobody is able to use his material. But he, if anybody pictures a picture of a Maltese or anything on his website for him, he has full rights to use anything. So JJ has been somebody who's been dealing with and using copyright to his advantage and to stop people even, I guess, even showing his websites or something. I guess not even to receive criticism. So like I said, I'm going to do that. And if you're interested, we're going to talk about that one later behind closed doors. So it kind of goes, oh, you're okay, Junebug. She's having a nightmare. Okay, so it kind of goes through, because what I understand is that Jay always, this is what this person said, I wonder if that's why Jay always adamantly refuses to believe that breeders don't make money off puppies. I wonder how much money he has made off of his. And then, so people are sort of, so I guess he has a history of condemning other people who bred Maltesers for money, but then it turned out that he himself was a breeder and had been a breeder for some time, and had problems with the dogs that he had bred. And so they actually kind of goes on. It says this person, Dr. Kathy, goes on to say that Jay and Bev don't seem to know much about anything. And says, yeah, I had thought a few years ago that someone had mentioned that they breed Maltese. I'm not surprised that somebody wasn't happy with the quality. Jay and Bev don't seem to know much about anything. This is back in 2004. I remember I met so many people that said, how much did you pay for your dog? And I had Sprite at the time, and I said $1,200, and like 5 of the 20-something people were like, okay, if you breed her, I'll pay you $1,500. And other people were like, oh, wow, that's a lot. And I walked away. So I know nothing about breeding, but it looks like it hurts the dog. And I was planning on spaying her before I even bought her. I really, really don't like how ignorant Jay and Bev are. So Jay and Bev have been interesting characters for 20 some years on the internet, it seems. And then they goes on to this whole thing where they found Jay and Bev Bianco back in their Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania days. And they were living in another part of Pennsylvania under their Bianco's Maltese, which was a listed breeder. So it seems that he would say on his Maltese.com website, like, things against breeders, but yet they were listed breeders. So it seems that this kind of doctoring of the truth is not only something that Tim enjoys doing, but something that JJ enjoys doing too, is potentially doing that. And it seems that there's a lot of this that has gone back in time with this. So like back to 2004 and even back to 1999, 1996. Oh, this was an interesting post. And this is one of the last ones. It says, well, just because he posted that doesn't make it the truth. I said he had a God complex, not that he was God. LOL. I don't believe anything he says. Too many conflicting stories, which is so similar to what we say about Tim. Tim having conflicting stories. This is why these two are like birds of a feather, stick together. Yes, shady people. Exactly. This is why I feel that these two just, Jay saw something in Tim. When people were calling out how shady Tim was, that seemed to almost fuel JJ to want to get more involved with Tim. Because he came out and met him out in Laughlin after people have been, saying, things about Tim, like, and you wondered, why would this successful married couple, want to have something to do with Tim? Seems like their businesses has all been around dogs their whole life. That's what I guess they've made money off of, is animals. So too many conflicting stories, and anyone so desperate to have to come over here and lurk and post like a 2-year-old has a lot going on in him to make me wonder what is fictional and what is actually truth. I wonder a little if he told so many lies that maybe he believes half of them now. And so I guess he was going into the spoiled Maltese community and, telling everybody else, what you could do and so forth. Yeah, at certain stage you're going to lose your driver's license if you don't have child support, which is probably why Tim doesn't live in California. So anyway, the last part I'm going to show, and then we'll wrap this stream up for the night, is about what Jay and Bev do to make their living. Because I don't think it's not from their website, it's not from their YouTube page. It's from this company called, and this was not copyrighted. This is that website that I cannot show here. So if you want to check it out, your premier source for Maltese dog information, Maltese only, the oldest, largest, and most complete Maltese dogs website in the world, is where Jay and Bev have made their money, and their business is doing all these products for Malteses. Coat conditioners. They have their own specially formulated products here. See, even with their own labeling and little gifts and novelties with a Maltese dog, which is interesting because we've never seen a Maltese at the house. So I don't know whether or not they still have these dogs. But this is, and then, like I said, I can't show this website, unfortunately. But you are more than welcome to go over and check it out. I just don't want to get copyrighted because that is they do have like some copyright, and I could just see that he would strike this and I would lose my monetization. So that will be in a members only video. So if you do want to see us talk about his Maltese only site, that's like this really old forum, but he still has it, and he still has it copyrighted. He still manages to run it. This is how they paid for the coffee bar. To be honest, JJ and B home is not that great. Might just deal with have a coffee bar. Yeah. Yeah, gift of the gab is the only reason he is afloat. Oh, that's Tim. Yeah. Sherry says, you think Tim's newfound whether he might give his children or grandchildren? Oh, yeah. You would have thought all that money he had. Do you think that Tim funded any college education for his children, his grandchildren? No, none. So yeah, it's interesting that this is the business. You can get a little pair of toes here, gift cards, So yeah, seems, and it even, like I said, it has their own little shampoos and stuff. So yeah, this is what they do. This is what has, and it seems like this has been their business for 20 some years, has been around doing Maltese stuff. This is how he made his money. So he's and he knows he knows a thing or two about copyright as well. So yeah, that's what I found out today. So I found it interesting that they make money from dogs products that they denied having been breeders for Malteses. But they actually, one of the websites that they did show, because I did look up this specific list here, the Bianco Maltese copy. Let me just show this. You could actually, just to show, because I want to show my receipts. I don't want to be, just full of, not showing the truth. That they do list them in this specific site that shows all the different Maltese breeders. So let me see if I can. I don't think. Let me share that tab. It's not a secure site though, so that's the only reason why I'm not a fan of sharing this one. Here we go. This is like some old stuff. Look at how old this page is. But down in here. If you keep going down, you will find the list here. So these are all about Malteses, and these were all the different people that bred Malteses. And in here was JJ and Bev's business listed in here. Bianco's Maltese right here. And they always used to say on their community that they never bred, but they were clearly breeders of Maltesers. And supposedly not great breeders always either. So yeah. Birds of a feather stick together. Maybe the font for something more sinister. Sharon says, hard to believe JJ and Bev supported themselves with website. I find it difficult to believe too. But you never know. They seem to be very involved in that world. And so who knows what other investments and so forth that they made. But it seems like they were in Pennsylvania and then they moved down to Florida at some point. Maybe a front for something more sinister. I mean, they just, he's never really talked about what JJ did for work. Which, you would have thought that maybe, I don't know. You don't have to mention your prison job. There's no rule on YouTube about that. So it's just interesting. I obviously get all of my dogs from rescues. I had one dog many, many years ago that I got in Mexico that came from an American puppy mill. And I just remember thinking of Snoopy, because he always came from the puppy farm. But just, it's really, obviously, it's somebody who knows that there are so many dogs that need loving homes. Obviously, I don't support breeding dogs like that. I really think that we have so many dogs already that, making breeding dogs for money is, not something that I am a fan of. I will always get my dogs from rescues. Junebug was a rescue. I'm just a firm believer in that. And so a couple that, bred dogs and made money off of dogs, it's to me, it's just, you know, a little bit, it just kind of says potentially who they are as people, you know? It's just, and the fact that if you see how much he copyrighted on his website, you know, take a look at that malteseonly.com if you want. Just kind of shows you he's obviously was protecting himself from everything. I mean, he's really like sort of, you know, they talked about him having a God complex. So it's no wonder that he and Tim found each other in my mind, you know? So I think they do egg each other on. I think they do kind of work in conjunction. So I think it's, you know, out of all the sort of relationships that Tim have, I see like almost JJ and Tim having more similar personalities. And the fact they live so close, they can really be, you know, helping one another. I'm sure JJ's the one who's really been egging Tim to do channel strikes because he struck Zachary Michael's channel. And he seems to be somebody who's worked and looked at a lot of different things around copyright before. And so, yeah, interesting characters. So, yeah, designer dogs. Yeah, they are trinkets, including designers. Yeah, I personally, like I said, I will always say adopt, don't shop. I love Junebug. Junebug is an awesome dog. I just thank myself every day. I'm so blessed to have such a wonderful dog, really. So anyway, guys, thank you all for joining me tonight. I will, like I said, I'm going to be super busy with my finishing up of this one class. But hopefully I'll have a little bit more time to do a little bit more before I get into my clinicals. So I'm excited. I'm always going to try to be looking for topics. Thank you, Tim, for being just such a wonderful diving board platform, if you may, for me to jump off into other topics. So yeah, thank you, Tim, for that. And for your narcissistic rage, because that made it so much better. All right. I want to thank Pat for their very generous $19.99 for getting the Tim party started. I also want to thank Sammy in Brooklyn for becoming a YouTube member. For Flat Pat, also for becoming a community member. Thank you so much for that. For my good friend Cheekbones for popping in and letting me know that she misses me. And that she's busy taking care of her first grandbaby. And I miss you too, Cheekbones. And thank you for coming in. That was really nice. And for David, also a member. And for everybody to say hello to Timmy. He says he doesn't watch. And we know that's not true. He does watch. But anyway, I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Congratulations to all of you who did win the memberships this evening. I hope you get a chance to enjoy those. And I thank you all. We've been here for a couple of hours, so I think that's a pretty good live stream. Happy Saturday night, everybody. Enjoy. Go and check out what other great lives are going on in the community. And I'll catch you on the next one. And just make sure you hit the likes on the way back out. If you haven't yet, my gosh, I'm getting tongue-tied. It's been a long day. Make sure you hit the likes on the way out. And all that good stuff. And just thank you again. Yeah, thanks to you. Thank you. Thank you, guys, to help me become part of the YouTube partner program. That was where I learned I could actually gift. I've been trying to figure out how to gift memberships, and I finally figured out how to do it. It was really easy, and I could have been doing that a long time ago. So now I'm sad because I've always wanted to do that. So I love giving stuff away. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.